Hi everyone, welcome to the December edition of Wavelength. Y2K. Are we ready for the Millennium Bug? Just what will happen when the date rolls over to 2000? Well, for two LCRA power plants, those questions have already been answered. The Sim Gideon Power Plant in Bastrop County and the Thomas C. Ferguson Power Plant in Marble Falls have been operating successfully in the year 2000 since last spring. After months of testing and upgrading of critical systems in the plants, the internal clocks at Gideon and Ferguson were rolled forward to the year 2000. So for these facilities, Y2K has already happened, and there were no problems. The Fayette Power Project in LaGrange is still operating in the year 1999, but all systems have been upgraded, tested, and certified year 2000 ready. The LCRA has been working on the Y2K bug since 1996, and in July notified state and federal regulators that its critical electrical generation and transmission systems are ready.
People come to LCRA's employees, they're looking for a first-hand experience, a first-hand word about whether the power is going to stay on. And LCRA employees can do a valuable service by telling their friends, telling their neighbors that the power is going to be reliable. And electric power is the key to everything.
LCRA has also been testing other critical operations, such as the Highland Lakes dams, water and wastewater utilities, telecommunication systems, and the mainframe computer system, which are all Y2K ready. In recent months, the focus has shifted to contingency planning. That is, what would we do if this went wrong or that system fails? Do we have backup systems and emergency plans in place? Any way you look at it, though, December 31st will not be your typical holiday at the LCRA.
We're spending New Year's with all of our favorite people. Several of us will be working on New Year's. We will have people at the plants, as there always are. It's a round-the-clock operation. Of course, the SOC will be staffed, and then we will have people here that are involved in the operations of various systems, either monitoring those systems, handling phone calls if we happen to get calls, or once the millennium turns over, what we call the rollover, running tests to ensure that everything worked as it should. And so we'll have people here that probably wouldn't have normally been here on a New Year's Eve, but that'll be fine. It'll be great. It's just part of our contingency to be able to, be ready and address any issues that came up.
And work will continue through the weekend.
On Saturday, we're planning on having folks come in to check our business critical systems. For example, the PS Max system, our financial systems, and our computer networks will all be checked out and ready to go so that they'll be up and running when employees come back to work on Monday. And then the final checkouts will be done Monday when employees return to work and turn on their PCs. We'll have help desk staff available and network staff available to address any issues that might come up.
So what should you do to be prepared at home? Well, LCRA's Emergency Management Coordinator suggests following the Red Cross Emergency Preparedness Guidelines. They've prepared this brochure titled Y2K, What You Should Know. They suggest you prepare just the same as you would for a hurricane or an ice storm. Store enough non-perishable food and water to last your family at least 3 days. Have a week's supply of prescription medicines, toiletries, baby food, and diapers. Have some extra cash or traveler's checks on hand. It's also a good idea to have plenty of charcoal or propane for the grill and extra firewood. Have flashlights and extra batteries available, and don't forget to fill your car's gas tank. As for your home computer, experts suggest that you check with your manufacturer to see what you need to do. LCRA's website at www.lcra.org has a link to the Home PC Alliance where you can log on with your PC's manufacturer. For those of you who own Apple Macintosh computers, you should not have any date-related hardware problems.
You're in Windows NT, right?
Finally, in dealing with Y2K, just use common sense. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
A lot of the kinds of problems we expect are really people problems or people issues. One example of this is the telephones. If everybody picks up their telephone at midnight, the telephone system is going to be overloaded. It doesn't mean that it's not Y2K ready and that it doesn't work. It's just an excessive demand on the service. And if you pick up your phone at midnight, then you might be preventing someone from using the telephone who really needs to get through, for example, a 911 call, or somebody who's has a business problem or business issue that they're trying to resolve.
By the way, the year 2000 is the last year of the 20th century. January 1st, 2001 will begin the 21st century and the new millennium.
All you gotta do is testify, and inside of a month, you'll have a new identity in a new state. What do you say? Huh?
I get to choose my own electricity supplier.
Whoa, Richie, where do you think you're going? Pennsylvania?
Choosing an electricity supplier can save you money.
That commercial is just a little preview of what's coming to a TV near you in the not-so-distant future. The Texas legislature passed Senate Bill 7 last session, which restructured the electric power industry in the state. The new law opens the door to retail electric competition, which means you will be able to choose your electric provider starting in 2001.
You begin to see all over the country, even in states where you haven't restructured the electric utility industry, you begin to see spots from electric companies to try to identify with the user. They try to establish themselves as either a hometown provider.
It's evening in Lincoln Junction, and the lights are going on. Because 2 generations ago, friends and neighbors pitched in and did what the big city power companies wouldn't.
As the lowest cost energy that you can buy.
And when you sign up with Exelon now, your price is guaranteed for a full year. That's savings you can count on.
As an environmentally sensitive company.
Helping to keep the environment clean and the power on. We are Southern Company, energy to serve your world.
Or else just an image that they want to portray.
Home, home of the ridge.
Some of them are very fun and upbeat and high energy.
Gonna drive you on into tomorrow.
Now the leading name in electricity, Detroit Edison, is becoming the leading choice for all your energy needs.
Some of them are soft and kind of warm and fuzzy.
Who are we? The Long Island Power Authority, your new electric company.
And it just depends on what kind of image the company's trying to portray and what their selling point is. We're already beginning to see some of them in Texas. Some of our customers are on the air. Pedernales Electric Co-op.
At Pedernales Electric Cooperative, a sense of community is one of our greatest strengths.
Bluebonnet Electric Co-op.
At Bluebonnet Electric Cooperative, you'll find us committed to finding new solutions to old problems.
And then some of the larger investor-owned utilities. TXU is all over the TV with some very, very fancy, high-tech ads.
Electricity, natural gas, communications. Stuff you can use to do anything. TXU. Go world, go.
LCRA's wholesale electric customers, 33 cities and 11 electric co-ops, can decide whether or not to open up their service areas to competition. If they say yes, then they can go after customers in any other area. But other electric companies can also go after their customers.
No matter how many advertisements we put on there, no matter how slick the spots are, what's really going to count is that one-on-one member service and customer care that we have. And that's really where we're focusing a lot of attention on. And that really starts with the employee base. And you know, no matter how good our commercial says, if we're not able to follow that up with actual service, you're going to be dead in the water. So that's why we chose the slogan, Your Power Professionals, because for us, that really embodies everything that we are.
You wouldn't dream of letting your money blow out the window, but that's what happens if your home isn't properly sealed. Air leaks in and around windows, doors, walls, and floors make your heating and cooling system work harder, which can raise your heating and cooling costs by as much as 15%. So be sure to caulk, weather strip, and insulate your home. And keep your money flowing in the right direction. A message from Pedernales Electric Cooperative, your power professionals.
In some states where retail competition is already in place, some unusual marketing techniques have been used.
A company in Pennsylvania hired Kenny Loggins to help them promote their environmentally friendly energy. They had a big public concert that was free. Thousands and thousands of people came. Well, everybody that came to that concert found out afterwards that by coming in and registering for the concert, they had been switched to a different energy provider. They hadn't been told that ahead of time, but by going to the concert, they ended up with a different provider. There was a big complaint about it, it was overturned in the courts, and they had to return everyone to their original provider. But it's a very aggressive market.
I just had a great idea.
The Texas Public Utility Commission will also have commercials on the air next year as part of an educational campaign designed to inform the public about this new world of choices in the electric power industry.
Shop. Where do you think you are, Pennsylvania?
You know, you don't have to be a meteorologist to know that it's bone dry here in Central Texas. It's been several months since we've had a good rain across the area. You combine that with one of the hottest August and Septembers on record, and not only has much of the vegetation dried up, but so have most of the creeks and streams that feed the Colorado River. The drought actually had its beginnings back in late July. Rainfall was near or even above normal last spring and early summer. But by August, the rain turned off, and we've seen very little ever since. November was an especially dry month, with most Central Texas locations recording less than a quarter inch of rain. 1999 is on pace to become the driest year we've experienced since the drought of 1988 and 89. The dry pattern can be blamed primarily on the weather phenomenon called La Niña. La Niña is an unusual cooling of the waters in the tropical Pacific Ocean. La Niña tends to disturb the normal pattern of the jet stream over North America, which keeps storm systems away from Texas, thereby keeping the rain away.
Above the lakes, everything's pretty dry. About the only thing that's got any significant flow into it is the Llano River. Main stem of the Colorado, Sandy Creek, Pedernales are all pretty dry, and all the tributaries to them, if you've driven around in the hill country at all, you can see they're literally dry. Down below now, the river is quite low. It's lower than what people are used to. We are meeting the minimum in-stream flow requirements as required by the Water Management Plan. We are occasionally generating a small amount out of both Travis and then passing it on through Miller to meet those demands. Most of it is being met with the flow that's coming out of Barton Creek and then effluent from the city of Austin or downstream.
The LCRA has asked river water users to voluntarily conserve water because the combined volume of Lakes Travis and Buchanan has dropped below a trigger level of 1.6 million acre-feet of water. That's about 75% of LCRA's total water supply storage capacity. If dry weather continues, Lake Travis is expected to drop by 1 to 2 inches per week. Scientists believe that the current La Niña phenomenon will be with us through the winter months. That means that we're in store for more unseasonably mild and dry weather. However, there are signs that the La Niña will break down sometime this spring. That means we should return to more normal rainfall patterns here in Central Texas.
Veterans Day, 1999. LCRA held its third annual Veterans Recognition Ceremony at the General Office Complex in Austin. Special guest speaker for the event was Colonel Tom Madison, U.S. Air Force retired.
All over the nation.
Colonel Madison's plane was shot down over North Vietnam in 1967, and he spent the next 6 years as a prisoner of war. We spoke to him about what kept him going during such difficult times.
In times like being in Vietnam, the main thing you draw your strength from is, first of all, is you know that your country is not going to leave you there. They are going to come to get you no matter how long it takes. And then secondly, your family. You know that they are waiting for you at home and you're looking forward to getting back to being with them. And then your spiritual. You're thanking God that, yes, I know I'm being challenged this time, but someday He will bring me relief. Probably one of the most joyful moments in my life was actually not when I heard about the day we were going to be released, because there were several times that we had false indications of being released. But the most joyful moment was when I stepped off the plane at Clark Air Force Base and saluted the senior officer there and then raised my hand, hallelujah.
For all of us who have not served, were not called upon to serve, it leaves you, if you have much of a soul at all, it leaves you with a sense of profound thanks for those of you who have served, particularly those of you who served during times of war. If you spent much time at all walking through the pages of history, I think you quickly learn that war in and of itself should never be celebrated. It's freedom that should be celebrated. And you've made that contribution, from you, Colonel, to those who've made the ultimate sacrifice, to those who have served in times of peace. We say to you, thank you, and today is just a small part that we get to play in thanking you for your service.
Following the ceremony, lunch was provided at the LCRA Multi-Purpose Center, where we had an opportunity to talk to some LCRA veterans.
I think this is really a nice thing for LCRA to do. It's nice that veterans are appreciated for the sacrifices that they made, and I really appreciate the fact that LCRA does this.
I think about on Veterans Day, the guys that were lost during the conflict in the Vietnam War. I think about all the things that we did during the war. We used to have mine sweeps and stuff like that. I think about all the old guys and the snakes and stuff that we experienced during that war. A lot of young men from America here died, but I'm still proud of serving my country. I always thought it was my patriotic duty to do my time in the military. I had uncles that was heroes in the military, and I always thought it was a thing that I should do also.
At the November board meeting, directors recognized all those employees who worked behind the scenes for many months, making the long-term water supply contract with the City of Austin a reality. The directors also recognized the LCRA finance team for their massive undertaking in refinancing $1.5 billion of debt.
It has been one hard project to keep on track and to keep together, and it closed last 2 weeks ago on the 4th November at 1:20. And we have lived with this project for 9 months. And I'm here to tell you, though, that the support the board has given us, the support that management has given us, and the team made it happen. So on behalf of everyone you saw here today, thank you again for your support.
We issued 11 bond issues covering the transactions that priced on 3 or 4 different occasions. The documents were, when we got to closing, the documents were spread out in 3 different rooms, transfer cases full of documents by the time the transcript was all pulled together. Each one of those documents, each one of those transactions took a huge amount of work due to the fact that it was being redone from the ground up. The complexity of the transaction was by far larger than anything I've seen in my years at LCRA. It's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime kind of a transaction.
Meismer says that this transaction was possible only because of the help and input from all LCRA lines of business, with a special thank you to the Legal Services Division for their tremendous contribution to this project.
About 300 Tinsco employees and family members gathered the day before Thanksgiving to share a meal and cap off their 1999 food drive, which benefited the Capital Area Food Bank and other food banks around the service area. The group surpassed last year's total with a new record of 7,324 pounds of food. Earlier that day, the family of Bruce White joined Tinsco employees at the Service Center for the dedication of this memorial honoring Bruce White. It was back in April of 1998 that Bruce was tragically killed in an accident at the transportation shop.
I'm thankful
I knew Bruce. I worked here at LCRA with Bruce for more than 16 years. All of us here that knew Bruce, and most did, are surely thankful for that experience. We're thankful we knew his humor. We're thankful we were able to experience his smile and his good nature. And we're thankful for what we learned from Bruce. Today was a day of healing. It meant a lot to all of us to take this step today. And as far as the reaction from the family, I think they all were very pleased with the location and the look of this park. And I think they're very proud that they have a place that they can come to, and also a place where all of the employees can come to. I know that the entire White family, they have always been extremely concerned for all of us here at the Service Center, and I have talked to Sharon quite a bit about this situation, and she has always said to me, make sure I'm taking care of the folks out here.
In memory of Bruce White, loving husband and father, dedicated employee and friend, proudly served the LCRA for more than 16 years.
It's December, and that means it's time for caroling, great food, unique gifts, and the annual LCRA Taste of the Holiday celebration.
It brings everybody together. It is one company kind of thing, and it's a celebration of this time of year, and it's a significant event.
The event was created as a way to showcase crafts and food that are handmade by LCRA employees and area artists.
We like, number one, all the creativity that the employees have, and we like their enthusiasm. And I don't know if you've seen the displays that each line of business has done, but they were fantastic. And Patsy and I judged those, which was very difficult. They were all winners.
The Taste of the Holidays event is just one more way that the LCRA celebrates its diverse culture and foods. What do the holidays taste like to you?
Tastes really good. Chocolate.
Holidays taste sweet, always, always, nothing but sweet.
The taste of the holidays is a very unique and personal thing. It's what exactly do you remember? What's in the back of your mind? What's on the tip of your tongue when you think of the holidays? And that's really different for everybody who's here at the LCRA. They may have come from a rural tradition, may have come from a big city. They may be Texans, they may be from New York City. They may be Jewish, they may be Christian, they may be Muslim. And so I think we all bring our own unique remembrances to the holidays, and that's what you really get to when you talk about what taste is on the top of your mind or the tip of your tongue.
Roughly 200 people attended the event, which raised a little over $3,000 for charities within the 58-county service area. And there will be some extra gifts under the trees of some very deserving people, thanks to the LCRA management team. The team, better known as the Buchanan Group, took time out of their quarterly meeting for a wrap party. Wrapping gifts, that is.
The management team has adopted 4 homes in our service area. We've got Buckner's Youth Ranch, Bluebonnet Youth Ranch, Cherokee's Children Home, and the Settlement Home. There's 111 Buchanan members, and we were able to find organizations that fulfill those. And of course, some managers actually got 2 children because we had a little overflow of some of the children, but we're really excited to do this. It's becoming an annual thing, obviously, every Christmas. We look forward to being able to provide them some names and some opportunities. The children's homes are looking forward to getting these gifts. We actually sent the wish list to the children's home and asked them to fill them out with their wish list, gave them to the managers, and as you can see, these children are going to be really happy out there in our service area.
You know, one of the things you can always count on this time of year is that the county courthouses throughout Central Texas are all lit up in preparation for the holiday season. But none is more spectacular than the courthouse in Lavaca County in Hallettsville, where thousands of people turned out for a huge parade to mark the beginning of the season.
me begin by wishing you a happy holiday season, and I hope that this season finds each of you and your family doing well. I hadn't planned for this to be the last Christmas message that I would do, but as I guess everybody knows now, I've made an important personal decision, and that's to leave the organization to accept another career opportunity. This place is like family, and this is a goodbye that's very, very difficult for me and for Celeste and for the kids. Like I said in my letter, my youngest daughter Camille, who's 13, looked at us at the dinner table when we were talking about this, and we kind of had the strangest look on her face. And we asked her, we said, well, Camille, what's up? And she said, well, you know, the LCRA is all I've ever known. I mean, all my life, Dad's just worked at the LCRA. And so it goes with me. I mean, that's, in many ways, that's how I feel. I feel so deeply attached to this organization. And there's been a lot of talk in the last week or so about, well, you know, Mark Rose this and Mark Rose that, and that's a bunch of nonsense. Whatever successes I have and whatever accomplishments that are being attributed to me is a result of the work of the men and women of this organization. And you are the finest individuals that I have ever been associated with. And this organization is as successful as it has ever been. And I am absolutely convinced that there is a bright future for the LCRA, and that people will quickly see that it really doesn't have a damn thing to do with me. It has to do with a shared sense of our vision and a belief in the mission of the LCRA. And as long as you hold that near and dear to your heart, then this will be the place that you want to be, and you will be successful. The tremendous board of directors who support this organization. I think the customers support us, although everyone's a little bit nervous about deregulation and what's happening in the world of electricity. But the framework for all the decisions that need to be made are right here in this organization. Every challenge that faces us can be met by the folks in this organization. So I leave with a thank you. Thank you for 13 wonderful years. Thank you for believing me when I delivered tough messages. Thank you for supporting me in the early days when I really didn't know what the hell I was doing, and you probably didn't have a real good reason to be supporting me. And more importantly, thank you for the expressions of friendship and love, particularly as I've gone through this past week. Again, I wish you only the best. There will always be a piece of my heart here in the LCRA, and I will hold on until the nursing home on the memories that we've made here together. Thank you.